words. And as a parent, you need to understand that this is a skill that they're developing and not get so put off by them challenging you. And I think we have a hard time with teens when they challenge us, but they're starting to stretch those muscles of independence. And you have to kind of wade through that. Do you have any advice for parents who are kind of on the other end when that?
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I do believe that the best way to help kids build self-advocacy is to start letting them practice at home, and it is hard.
Yeah.
But as an example, my oldest son wanted to stop taking his ADD medicine when he went to college. And I was like, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. And we talked to his doctor, and his doctor was like, I'm not sure that's a good idea, Sam, but let's talk about why you want to do it. And I have to give credit to his doctor, who was phenomenal, but he asked me to leave the room, and he sat down and they talked about the pros and the cons. And at the end of the day, he decided not to do it. He was like, I just want to feel what it's like to be me. And I want to make friends, I want people to make friends with the real me in this setting. And, he stood up to me about it, but he did it in a way that was respectful. He advocated for himself, and I had to honor that, and he had to deal with the, ramifications of that decision. And
right. And I think that's important too, is to, press back on them. It's your responsibility, but it's also what you're taking on, what happens because of your decision as well. And it doesn't come back on me, at least completely. Sometimes it does a little bit.
No, but it's really important, because I think a lot of times, I can't speak for everyone, but I gave my son a pass for things because, of his disability. And I didn't do him, I did him a disservice, I think, actually, because he didn't suffer the consequences that his brother did for a lot of things, or that his sisters will. And because of it, he didn't know what, failure was, or, when it came to making decisions. And, we have a lesson about like the decision-making process. He's super impulsive. Like, I'm going to go spend $1,200 on virtual reality. And, that was your college money, buddy, and having to deal with those. Well, I can't, if I return it, I lose 20% because of it's open. Well, that's the consequence of the action the decision that you made. And those are hard lessons to learn for, I think, parents and kids.
Right. Yeah. When my oldest he first went to welding school at 17, and being on the spectrum, he didn't want to be diagnosed. And so we left him in Jacksonville, Florida, with nobody he knew, and went to school for 9 months, and he learned a lot of things. He got him crying on the phone. I'm sorry, I'm in Texas, you're in Florida. I can't help you. Yes, I know you're connected with the church. You're going to have to ask somebody for help there. And so it was hard. But then when he came back home and tried to get a welding job, he just couldn't. It was when the economy collapsed, and he decided he was going to go back to college, or go to college, which he didn't want to do. But we gave him the choice too of being re-diagnosed, because he hadn't been diagnosed since 5. And he said, no, I don't want any accommodations. And so he has gone through 4 years of college already, 1 year left, and I have had many anxiety attacks that I've been texted about. But he has advocated for himself to professors who did not grade him equally, and actually won the cases. And I'm really proud of him. But yet he knew, when we had that discussion, just like you were talking about, of this is what you're going to take on if you choose not to get the help. And that was the choice he made. And so every time it would come back, I would say, remember this discussion we had? You can always get diagnosed again, and you can ask for help. Nope, I'm not going to do it. So,
Good for him, though. I mean, you have to respect that. And, as a parent, I mean, aren't you amazed? Aren't you so amazed at what he's accomplished? And
definitely. Yeah, I'm so proud of him for just how he's persevered, and really just pressed on. It wasn't anything I ever foresaw him doing. And we'll be giddy when he graduates next year.